Folks, you've got to have a concept, a philosophy on how you'll build your business. It's the same thing if you were a head football coach. Now, the first thing you've got to decide as a head football coach is, how am I going to build my team? What system will I use? What I believe in? What's my philosophy? See, it can be a tough, hard-nosed, ball control, pound it out, make them respect the run like Nebraska. Or it can be high power, high scoring, high finesse, pass first like Florida. So you've got to have a philosophy that you believe in. Then once you have a philosophy, then you recruit those kinds of players and you build your team with that kind of personality. Does that make sense? It's the same way in business. You've got to have a concept, you've got to have a philosophy. Now let's say it's recruiting. Then recruiting must become an all-the-time thing. You've got to develop a recruiting mindset. It's not something you can turn off and turn on. Recruiting must become an all-the-time thing. Now once you've decided that your belief is recruiting, that's the way I'm going to build my business, okay? Then folks, everything in your business has to be geared to recruiting. The compensation program, the way you're going to pay people in your company, always has to be geared towards recruiters making the most money. Promotions, if somebody's going to get a promotion in your company, there's always got to be recruiting requirements to get a promotion. Every meeting you have, if you're going to do recognition where you're going to talk about the heroes in your business, you've got to talk about those that do the most recruiting. Every time you send a report out to your people, you've got to talk about recruiting. Does that make sense? Recruiting has got to become an all-the-time thing. And folks, this never changes. It never changes when times are good, and it never changes when times are bad. When the going gets tough, when sales are down, when income's down, when your business has stopped growing, you can never change your basic philosophy and your basic concept of recruiting first. It's just like in football. If Nebraska goes out there and wins 4 games and they play Colorado and Colorado beats them, then all of a sudden they don't change their run first, pound it out philosophy Monday and go to a pro set passing concept, right? I mean, you got to come back and suck it up, and you got to just get better at what you believe in. Listen to this unwritten law. Recruiting must be the answer to your every problem. Let me give you an example. Let's say sales are down. If sales are down, folks, you don't stop recruiting and go into sales. That'll kill you. Recruiting's got to be the answer to your every problem. So let's say if I've got a recruiting first concept, which I had at A.O. Williams, and sales are down, let me give you another unwritten law. You're always one recruit away from an explosion. See, if you want to make a lot of sales in a hurry, you make a lot of sales in a hurry easier and quicker by recruiting than you do selling. Let me give you an example. Let's say I go recruit somebody part-time. Well, number one, he's going to become a client, right? And let's say he has 10 friends, okay? I built my business on 10 friends. I'll talk about that to you later. Let's say he has 10 friends. Well, we ought to at least sell 7 or 8 of those 10 friends, those best friends, right? And we ought to recruit 5 of those people, right? So by going and recruiting one part-time person, I make a sale to him. Then if he's got 10 friends, then he and I are going to go to those friends and we're going to sell 7 or 8 of those people and recruit 5 of those. And if those 5 people have 10 friends, then we're going to go sell 30 to 35 of those and recruit 25. Does that make sense? So recruiting has to be the answer to your every problem. Let me give you another example. Let's say you recruit some person and he's not coming to meetings, or in my business, we were in a regulatory business where you had to have an insurance license and securities license, or let's say the guy was not studying and taking his test, okay? See, the answer is not to bring him into office and say, listen, Bill, now you get serious about this thing or I'm going to can your butt. That's not, people don't want no bosses, right? They hate bosses out there. See, the way you solve that problem is with recruiting. When you're out there field training your new recruit, let's say the new recruit has 10 friends, he calls and set up the appointments, you go with the new recruit to sell his friends, training him, right? Well, in addition to selling his friends, you're recruiting people also for him, right? You're helping that new recruit build a team. And when he gets licensed, you've got him a team so he can take those recruits and best friends and just continue the process. Does that make sense? And so let's say Bill, you've recruited 3 or 4 people for him, and Bill's sitting on his butt and he's not getting his license, okay? You call Bill on the phone, you say, Bill, old buddy, you know, it breaks my heart. Do you know you got 3 or 4 guys out there excited about this thing, they're making sales, and you ain't got a license, and I can't pay you any money. That's against the law. So all that money's got to come to me, and it's killing me, okay? I want you to get that money, but before you can get that money, you've got to get licensed. Recruiting's got to be the answer to your every problem.